Good evening and welcome to a new edition of the news. Senate President Faisal Fayez called for launching a responsible national dialogue to arrive at a modern tax law that ensures justice among all social groups and addresses the serious distortions in the current legislation, mainly tax evasion. In a discussion with experts, industrialists and economists, Fayez said the tax bill should help prop up the various economic sectors and raise their competitiveness. The new bill, he stressed, should respond to the royal directives to carry out a comprehensive review of the tax system and tax burden and meet the goal of fiscal and economic reform. He added that any debate of the tax law should take into account that the future economic policy is not primarily based on foreign aid but self-reliance, which means an optimal utilization of resources and control of government spending, as well as launching job-generating projects. He said the new bill should help attract foreign investment through putting well-studied tax ratios on the various sectors to achieve the aspired for goals. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas discussed in Moscow the situation in the Palestinian lands, bilateral projects, and the transfer of the U.S. embassy from Tel Aviv to occupied Jerusalem. Talks between the two leaders focus on the creation of a new multilateral mechanism for solving the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. Abbas spoke with Putin on Israeli violations against the Palestinian people, including extending settlement activities and the ongoing Gaza siege. He also expressed concern about U.S. President Donald Trump's policy in the region. Putin and Trump will hold summit talks on Monday in the Finnish capital, Helsinki. Meanwhile, an Israeli airstrike destroyed a multi-story building in the Gaza Strip, killing 2 teenagers who were passing by, as Israel carried out the largest daylight attack on the besieged enclave since the 2014 war. 12 others were wounded and nearby houses were damaged. 15-year-old Amir al-Nimra and 16-year-old Luay Kahil died of their wounds. In a flare-up of fighting, the Israeli military carried out dozens of airstrikes in Gaza, while Palestinian activists fired dozens of rockets into Israel. The exchange of fire followed a familiar pattern of retaliatory attacks across the Gaza-Israel border, which has seen an escalation of violence over the past few months. The Israeli military said it struck more than 40 targets in what it described as one of its widest operations since a 2014 Israel-Gaza war. Egyptian archaeologists revealed today the details of an ancient burial shaft and a mummification workshop that were discovered 30 meters underground near the Saqqara necropolis south of Cairo. Archaeologists are hoping the mummification workshop will provide fresh insight into the chemical makeup of the oils used by ancient Egyptians to mummify their dead. The burial shaft, which is over 2,000 years old, is believed to date back to the Sayyid Persian period. The shaft was discovered containing 35 mummies in addition to stone sarcophagi. Hundreds of small stone statues, jars and vessels used in the mummification process were all found inside the burial chambers and excavated. But the most significant artifact was a gilded silver mask.
This object is unique. It's not unique, it's very rare to have a silver mask gilded with gold. We discovered only 2 of this kind, so it's a very nice discovery.
To sports, Belgium finished 3rd in the World Cup, their best ever performance, beating England 2-0. Thomas Meunier opened the scoring in the 4th minute, and Eden Hazard doubled the lead in the 82nd minute. The two teams have already met in the group stage, with Belgium beating England 1-0. Today's result is the best Belgium has ever achieved, as it previously finished 4th at the 1986 World Cup in Mexico. The World Cup comes to a close tomorrow, with France and Croatia playing in the finals in Moscow. In other sports, Angelique Kerber stunned Serena Williams to win her first Wimbledon title. The 11th seed defeated the 7-times champion in 2 sets, winning 6-3, 6-3 to become the first German woman to win the title since Steffi Graf in 1996. And finally, for a quick look at the weather, normal summer conditions are expected across the kingdom, with temperatures around seasonal average and the winds northwesterly moderate, stirring dust in the Badia. Amman tomorrow can expect a high of 31 degrees Celsius and a low of 20 degrees. In the Gulf of Aqaba, it remains hot with daytime temperatures at 38 degrees, dropping down to 29 at night. And with this, we come to the end of this edition of the news. I'm Alia Tuqan. Thank you for joining us and have a good night.